Hi there. So this is reading 847 for you, ED. Now you asked me some specific questions around your move, your proposed move from Fremantle over to New South Wales and whether that was the right decision, about your creative pursuits in terms of vocation and writing, and whether there would be another baby. So we'll have a look. Now bear in mind, of course, that these only look at the next 12 months. So we'll see what comes up for you with that. We'll focus mainly here, but I want to start here and work our way around so we can contextualize it for you a little bit. So we'll start with this one here. And this is Rowan or Lewis, and it kind of themes your whole reading. Now, this is about protection, so that doesn't necessarily mean, let me just forward that by saying that doesn't mean, oh my goodness, you have to protect yourself from anything and things are going to go wrong. No. But what it does say is that you need, particularly with the move over to New South Wales, you need to make sure that you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's, that you have planned and that you have prepared. So protect yourself financially, legally, physically, protect your belongings, make sure they're insured, or protect yourself when you're travelling, you know, and by that I mean make sure that you take rests if you're going by car with the little one. Make sure that you've taken activities to keep her happy, and that you have, you know, pots of yogurt or apple slices, you know, that you are prepared. Okay, that's what this is all about, making sure that you're prepared, that you've set out, that you've planned it properly. Over here, these three Ogham staves here talk about the last 12 months or so, and they are, I'm really pleased to see these two here together. That's really interesting, but we'll talk about that in a sec. This is Older or Fianne, and this is about giving and receiving advice. It's about giving and receiving support. Now, he's actually facing the wrong way. So what I'm being told here is that for you, particularly in terms of vocation, that you are taken for granted or have been taken for granted, and that the skills that you have are not utilised. I think you mentioned something about that in your email as well, but that you have a great deal more to give. But it's really important for you, ED, to make sure that you give that with tact and diplomacy, and that you find new ways and new audiences to give that to. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get here. Now, over here, these two here, very rarely, if ever, come together the way that they do, because they're both so closely linked. And sometimes they'll come out in a reading together, but very rarely do they ever come out crossed in this fashion. Sail or Willow is about femininity, about flexibility, it's about magic, but it's also about intuition. It's about those intuitive gifts that you have, that feminine intuition, you know, that it's a ridiculous name because it's not just about femininity, but it's about that kind of a skill. And underneath, Coal or Hazel is about your inner inherent intelligence, wisdom. So when you put those two together, this is very much about you learning a great deal more in the last year about your psychic gifts, about your spiritual abilities, about your intuitive and creative gifts and talents. You have masses of them, but you're not using them to their full capacity yet, and you may be using some of those in the future in terms of your vocation as well, in terms of your creative ability, but you're still, in the last 12 months or so, have been learning about them and how to use them. I really encourage you, really encourage you to keep learning and developing those, because you have some massive skills about you in terms of psychicness, for the want of a better phrase. Sitting in the middle here, we have Idaho or you, and this is in the position that talks about what's going on right now, and this is massive change. Now, it's not about change, though, that's imposed on you by other people. So it's not other people saying to you, you must do this. This is much more about change that you create, that you are the architect or the master of. And it's not just about tangible change either, it's about change that you make within yourself. So it's about decisions that you make about what's important to you. It's about the decision to move from Fremantle over to New South Wales is a really classic example of that. That was a decision that you sat down with your partner and communicated and talked through. But it's not a decision, actually, many people would say to you, it's not a decision based on logic, because you have no job to go to, you have no house to go to, you're not going to anything. Neither are you running away from anything, but it's a decision based on what feels right. Yeah, psychic skills, intuitive ability. So together you have done that. So lots of changes that you are putting into place, that you will continue to put into place, that come from a place of soul, that come from a place of heart, that come from a place of core, that don't just come from rational, logical brain thinking, but they come from feel, from sense. And I'm really pleased to see that, because for you that's going to be really important as well. Now these 4 here are about the next 12 months or so, and I'm just going to talk about each one very quickly and then I'll put it all together. Gort or Ivy themes your next 12 months, and it's about survival. Now there's negative and positive connotations with that. The negative connotations are that things are really rough and things are really, really difficult, and our lives are in danger and we just survive. That's the negative kind of concept. But the positive concept is that, yeah, it is going to be hard work. I'll tell you that right now. The next 12 months ahead is full on dedication, hard work, but you come out the other side of that, surviving that with dignity, with poise, and actually have the capacity to look back and say, holy heck, we did that. That's triumph. That's triumphant, and it's worthy of celebration and recognition. I'm going to go back to that again in a minute. I'm going to do this one first, and then I'll pick up on him. Now, Huathel Hawthorne is about obstacles. It's about things not going according to plan. It's about things taking longer than they should. It's about things not working out the way that you had thought they would. But it's not about failure, okay? It's about finding alternative ways to do things. So here's your hawthorn bush, and think about a hawthorn bush, and they're full of thorns. They're pretty nasty looking, raggedy kind of things. If you are here and your partner and your daughter are here and your goal is over here, which may be New South Wales, home, job, work, security, stability over in New South Wales, then what Hawthorne says is if you try and walk straight through the hawthorn bush to get there, you're going to get ripped to shreds by the hawthorn thorns. So instead, what you have to do is be resourceful and find a way around. You have to find an alternative route. You have to find plan B. You have to find different ways to achieve your goal. Okay? So Hawthorne says that you won't, that it will still be achievable. Everything that you want is still achievable, but you're going to have to be resourceful, and you're going to have to think about different ways to achieve what you want, and know that when it doesn't happen the first time, or when it takes a little longer than you thought, or stuff breaks down or whatever, know that you will get to what you want. We know you will, because Gort and survival is all there for you, but it won't always go according to plan. And that's where this one sits. And I'm going to be really honest here and tell you this is my least favourite stave out of all of the Oghams, but it's important. And it would be unethical of me to change this out and put another one in there. I need to tell you what the Oghams have to say and not filter out, the less than positive stuff. Strafe or blackthorn is about tears, frustration, sadness, loneliness. It's really about anger sometimes as well. I get the very strong sense for you that it takes a fair bit to get you angry, but when you get angry, you're really, really angry, and you have a pretty wicked temper sometimes. Strafe is about getting really upset when things don't go according to plan. This one here. And what you are going to need to do in the next 12 months is really think about reining in some of that frustration, because it's about learning to be patient in the coming year. When things don't go all according to plan, learning to be patient. It's also about hormonal imbalance, and it's about, you know, doing this in terms of hormones instead of a nice smooth kind of pattern. It's about moodiness and change. So I'm going to encourage you with that in mind, for you to see a herbalist or a natural a naturopath or a natural medicine practitioner, and ask them to help you to minimize the tiredness that you tend to feel, I'm being told, minimize the moodiness that sometimes attacks you, and see if you can make sure that you're really healthy and in the year ahead. And then this one down the bottom here, bless its beautiful cotton socks, love this one to pieces, is heather or ur. And this underpins your whole 12 months. This is about love, it's about companionship, it's about partnership, it's about sharing, it's about having a strong marriage, a strong partnership with your partner, and moving on that. But it's also about loving who you are and coming to an understanding, if you like, of the beauty and the strength and the talent that you have as well. So it's about loving yourself as well as loving your partner and being loved by your partner. So what do we have when we put all of that lot together? Well, we have you asked me if the decision to move over to New South Wales was the right decision. If it's made from your heart and soul as a couple, absolutely it's the right decision. And will it be an easy path to get there? No. Okay, so again, I have to be ethical and honest with you. There are going to be obstacles in the way. It won't go according to plan. Things will get lost. Cars will break down. People will get frustrated. And that means you and your partner. Finding a job will not be as easy as you thought. Finding a home will not be as easy as you thought. But it is absolutely the right decision to make, and you will come out the other end of that victorious as a couple, as a very supportive, caring, loving, wonderful couple, and it will be worth it. So absolutely, it's the right thing to do. But be prepared for the frustrations and the tears and the annoying things that go wrong along the way. Use them as an opportunity to develop more patience, to develop more psychic skills, really important for you because that's a huge talent for you. And I encourage you to write it all down. Diarise it all, journal it all, because as a creative person, as a writer, this will be a fantastic tool, a fantastic food source, for the benefit, want of a better phrase, that feeds your ability to express through words. So I really encourage you to diarise that all. Do I see a baby in the next 12 months? No, but I do see a pregnancy in the next 12 months. So what does that mean? What I actually see is that there's going to be massive celebrations for you. 12 months from now, you will be pregnant. So in other words, it's another 9 months plus before you fall pregnant. And I really encourage you not to dive into trying to fall pregnant just yet, because you've got massive obstacles and challenges. No, obstacles, it's too strong a word. Challenges ahead with the move over to New South Wales, and your whole soul, your mind, your brain, your heart, for yourself and your partner, it's going to be really preoccupied with the fantastic experiences and challenges that you face when you move. And you're going to need an awful lot of energy, psychic, spiritual, and physical energy to get through some of those wonderful challenges that are waiting for you in New South Wales. Once you've got through those, then is the time for you to, as a couple, become pregnant. Okay, so New South Wales move first, then pregnancy. Now, your Celtic Druid Animal Oracle card is the crane, and I've got I've got to tell you here, I was really surprised at this, because in the last reading that I did, the reading just before yours, Crane, came out, and I pulled the card out again, and I thought, oh no, it just must have stuck. So I shuffled the cards again, and what came out? Crane. So Crane was absolutely meant for you. Now, Crane or Core, he's about achievement and reward, and we know that that's going to happen for you. But he's also very focused on tasks. So here I talked about the need for you to make the planning really as a priority for you for the journey. Make sure that you've planned everything properly, but know that of course you're going to have your plan B, because things won't always go according to plan. So a Crane is all about that as well. He's about being focused on the outcomes. He's also, though, Crane is very much about motivation and inspiration. He's about moving forward. He's not about thinking about the past. And for you, that's what this coming year is. It's all about working towards a goal and moving forward, which is exactly what Crane is all about. Crane is also about moving into a deeper spiritual path, which I talked about here. And again, I'm going to encourage you to really develop and trust those intuitive psychic skills and talents that you have, because they're also going to feed into your writing and your creative ability. And so that's all about Crane. I encourage you to really look at Crane perhaps as I guess a totem animal. With that said, though, your Celtic birth tree is Beth or Birch, and you actually have exactly the same birthday as me, the 28th of December. So that's really special. This is about renewal, it's about rebirth, it's about change, it's about accepting change, it's about embracing change and growth and development. And Birch folks are usually really determined kind of people, really good at organising other people and situations, and they tend to be quite ambitious as well. They're also really resilient, and they're able to go around obstacles. You know, we talked with Hawthorne about your ability, your resilience, and your ability to find Plan B. Birch or Beth is very much about that as well. They get frustrated by setbacks and upsets, but they keep going, and that's what you need to do. Really strong belief in hard work, diligence, persistence, but patience is key for them as well. They can be seen by other people as being a little bit stubborn, because they're all about achievement when a goal presents itself to them, and when they get motivated by that. And in relationships, they're incredibly loyal as well. So that's Beth or Birch. And your Druid birth deity is Lu, the god Lu, who was about light. A fantastic god. I really encourage you to go and Google Lu, find out a little bit about Lu, and perhaps use Lu, particularly in the travelling journey over to New South Wales, as a guiding light for you. I think you'll find that quite useful. And your Celtic, your Druid birth animal, your totem animal, I guess for a want of a better phrase, is white stag. And that's also about magic, very much about magic, which was what these two were also about as well, about intuitive skills as well. So I encourage you to look at that. So I hope that's given you a little bit of motivation for the year ahead, and an ability to make some really good decisions to meet your outcomes.